Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tale, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now, let's get into today's. Talamy best friend stole my dream job by lying about me to the boss. I smiled, congratulated her, then quietly took an even better offer when she found out I was now her boss's boss. Her jaw hit the floor. Let me tell you about how I lost my dream job, got betrayed by the one person I trusted the most, and then flipped the script so hard that she couldn't even look me in the eyes. I'm not writing this for pity, I'm writing this because sometimes karma doesn't need to wait years. It just needs one good opportunity. We'll call her Jenna Not. Her real name? I'm not protecting her. I just don't want this post flagged. We met in college. Both business majors, both overachievers. We clicked fast. We studied together and interned at the same companies, even had matching schedules. For a couple semesters, everyone joked that we were two halves of the same brain. That was true. Until it wasn't. Fast forward a few years, we're both out of school. Working entry-level jobs in NYC, grinding, networking, doing everything you're supposed to do. In your 20s, to make it, I worked my way into a mid-level role at Addison firm in Midtown. Not glamorous, but it paid the bills and gave me room to grow. Then I saw it, my dream job position opened up at a well-known consulting firm. High pay, full benefits, remote, friendly leadership potential. This was the job I'd been working towards since graduation. Everything I did in school, every internship, every side project. It all lined up for this. It told Jenna about it. Of course I did. We were best friends. She acted excited, said things like, "That's all you, girlin', you've got this in the bag." She even helped me prep for the first round interview, gave me tips, practiced mock questions with me. I trusted her. Completely, interviews went great. Or so I thought. I made it through 3 rounds. Met the department heads, even had a follow-up lunch with the hiring manager. I was told to expect an offer by the end of the week, but instead I got a rejection email, generic cold, "We've chosen to move forward with another candidate." I was stunned, not devastated, not yet, just confused. I did everything right. Had the experience, I had the vibe. What went wrong? Cue Jenna asking me out for drinks. We meet at our usual spot. I'm still raw, trying not to show how crushed I am. She orders our regular drinks. Then she drops it. "Don't be mad. But I applied too. And I got it," she said, it with this forced smile, like she knew it was a terrible thing to say. But thought if she smiled hard enough, it had softened the blow. My brain short-circuited. "You what?" "Yeah," she said, almost laughing. I didn't think I'd get it, but I saw the listing and figured, why not, why not? I stared at her. My throat went dry, my head buzzed. I forced a smile, said, "Wow, congrats." Clinked Ketter glass. I didn't sleep that night. Here's the thing she never told me. She was applying not once, and this wasn't awe. Both saw the listing and coincidentally applied. Thing I told her about this job, I showed her the listing. I said it was my dream role. But maybe she really had just applied last minute, right? Nope. A few weeks later, I run into a guy I know who works at that firm. He's a friend of a friend. We get to talking about the hiring process, and I casually mentioned that I applied for the role but didn't get it. He looks confused. "You are the girl with the product launch portfolio, right?" "Yeah," I said. "Huh?" He says, "That's weird. I heard from someone in HR that you had reliability issues or something, like you didn't work well with teams." I nearly choked. That's when the pieces clicked. Jenna, the interview prep, the sudden last-minute application, the weirdly specific feedback. She tanked my chances. She told them I was unreliable, probably more than that. I don't know the full story, but I know enough to say this. She threw me under the bus to get what she wanted. I was numb, angry, humiliated, but I didn't call her out, not right away. Instead, I played the long game. I didn't let her know. I kept things friendly, distant, but polite. I said I was taking some time to refocus, said I was thinking of switching industries. She bought it. What I actually did was double down. I worked harder than ever, updated my resume, leveraged every contact I had started interviewing at multiple firms, took freelance consulting gigs, even did a few speaking events at local business schools. I was everywhere. And months later, I got a call from a major firm, one that had just acquired Jenna's company in a massive merger. They offered me a senior executive role. The department, I would oversee strategic growth, which included, guess what, a few project managers from Jenna's team. At first, I didn't realize she'd fall under my org chart. The structure was still shifting, but a few weeks into the job, during an internal orientation call, I saw her name in a team roster. My heart nearly stopped. It was real. I was now 2 levels above her in the new structure. I didn't say anything. I waited for the all-hands video call, the one where all department leads introduced themselves. When it was my turn, I smiled, looked into the camera and said, "Hi, I'm OP's name. I'll be leading strategic growth across all merged departments, some of you. I know some I look forward to working with." Her face popped up on the side screen. She was pale, jaw slack, eyes wide. I don't think she even blinked. It was quiet revenge. Professional, clean, no raised voices, no social media rants. Just success after that call. I didn't hear from Jenna for a while. Weeks passed. No mails. No Slack messages. Nothing but I knew. She was still there, still clocking, and still sitting in meetings. I oversaw, even if I wasn't on all of them. She was quiet, and I expected that. What I didn't expect was how fast word spread. One afternoon, I got a message from another manager in our division, someone who used to be her direct supervisor before the merger. "Hey, just FYI, Jenna's been acting weird, passive-aggressive in meetings, avoiding tasks. Something happened between you two." I typed out 5 different replies, deleted all of them, ended up just sending, "We go way back." I didn't need to explain anything. She was unraveling on her own. But here's where it gets messy. People started talking. You know how office gossip works. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's whispered during coffee breaks or in DMs with disappearing messages. Someone found out Jenna and I had gone to college together. Someone else found out. We used to be close. A third person figured out. She got hired right after. I didn't, and someone definitely remembered the bad reference rumor. It didn't take long for someone to connect the dots. And one afternoon, my director pulled me aside. "Hey, look, there's talk about you and a P. Munder. Your org is there. A conflict. We should know about." I kept my face straight, nothing official. "We were friends once, that's it." He nodded slowly. "If anything surfaces, let us know. We don't need any HR surprises." I thanked him, closed the door, and sat there for a long time. This wasn't just about the past anymore. This was now a problem in my present, and it was making its way toward my future. Here's the twist. Jenna didn't just lay low, she started fighting back in her own way. I started getting reports from her team that she was undermining me, saying things like, "Used to know her, she's not as sharp as she acts," or "She probably just got thorough because she knew someone up top." One team member accidentally CSE at me on a thread where she implied I had jumped the line for the promotion. It wasn't direct, but it was enough, so I called her and we had a formal one-on-one virtual. Of course, she logged in late. Didn't turn on her camera. I turned mine on, looked straight into that black square on my screen. "Jenna," I said calmly, "we need to clear the air. Things are tense, not just between us. Your team feels it to silence." Then she says, "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" My hands clenched under the table. "No," I said, "I'm not, but I also didn't lie about anyone to get where I am." She didn't respond. "I'm not there to punish you," I continued. "But if you keep sabotaging the work, we're going to have a much bigger issue." Still no camera, just her voice. "You act like you're above it, but you're not." She left the call right after that. It got worse. A couple weeks later, a project failed badly. Missed deadlines, sloppy deliverables. Angry client upper management got involved. They pulled records, checked communications, tracked decisions. I kept my distance, but kept getting looped in because it was my department. Now our report landed on my desk. One line stood out: PM failed to escalate timeline. Issues misrepresented available resources and downplayed early warnings. It was bad. I didn't move on it right away. Har would take the lead, but I knew it was only a matter of time. And then the final twist, I found out she had applied again to my role before the merger, before she knew I was coming. That position. She once just applied to on Awin. She'd been gunning for the top spot. The whole time, she didn't want the job. She wanted mine. She just got stuck in the middle now. The game had changed. It wasn't just about old Lise anymore. It was about how far she'd go to take me down, now that I'd made it, and I had a decision to make after the failed project, and our tense one-on-one if figured Jenna would lay low. Maybe start looking for a new job, maybe just fade out quietly. But I underestimated her 2 weeks later. I got called into a meeting with the VP of Strategy and one of the board advisors. This was unusual, not normal, especially without a calendar invite. I log in. VP smiles a bit too politely. "Hey, thanks for hopping on last minute. We've had an interesting proposal come up." Board advisor chimes in, one of your team members. Jenna M. submitted a reorg outline. It's ambitious. My stomach dropped. She's proposing a realignment of project management across the strategic growth department. He continued, including a shift in team leads and consolidation of reporting lines up to the executive level. I froze. She was trying to cut me out quietly, structurally, with paperwork and org charts. If they had liked the plan, I would have been reduced to a figurehead decision-making power, handed off to another manager. Conveniently, someone Jenna was close with, they kept talking. I barely heard them eventually. The VP said, "We thought you should weigh in before we go further. You're in the middle of it after all." "Oh." I kept my tone even. "I'd like to review it thoroughly. I'll provide feedback by end of day," they agreed. The second I left the call, I opened the doc. It was slick, professionally written, full of jargon, and colored flowcharts. Looked like it had been workshopped by someone who knew how to play the game, but there was one major issue. It was built on lies data. Was bent project summaries were misleading and timelines were strategically edited to make it look like Jenna had been the victim of poor upper leadership. She even had a section hinting that I hadn't adjusted well to the merger structure and was struggling to manage remote teams. Couldn't believe it. This wasn't passive sabotage. This was a full-on campaign. I didn't confront her. Documented everything. Pulled every project report from the last 6 months, compared emails, meeting notes, team feedback, and deliverable timelines. I didn't argue. I didn't vent. I built a case. Then I added something extra: screenshots. See, one of her trusted allies, he'd been quietly slipping me messages, screenshots of chats, DMs, comments she made about me, about the company, even about clients. It was worse than I thought. She had been laying the groundwork for months, undermining decisions, gaslighting teammates, whispering things like, "I bet my name got this roll through, connections, and she's not qualified to lead us." I packaged everything, created a timeline, added citations, page number, cross-references, made it watertight. Then I sent it to HR, to legal, to the VP subject line. Response to Jenna M's department proposal. Formal concern included. I got a reply within an hour. "Thank you. Will investigate immediately. Please keep this confidential." A week later, she was pulled into a meeting. Wasn't told what happened in it. I didn't need to be. What I did hear through back channels was that she got defensive, accused me of trying to silence her, said I was threatened by her ideas. But the data didn't lie. The screenshots didn't lie, and legal doesn't play favorites. By the end of that week, her access to Curtin internal systems was revoked. She was moved off active projects. Shar told her to work from home until further notice. Whispers turned into full volume hallway talk. People started asking questions, wondering why her name wasn't on the new org chart rollout, why she wasn't cited on client strategy memos. And then someone dropped the biggest bomb. Yet, hey, a junior analyst told me Oni morning, nervously sipping coffee. I probably shouldn't say this, but she was talking about you even before the mergers. He knew you were being considered for the Marissa she was trying to get. You blacklisted. I stared at him. You're sure? He nodded. My old manager told me, he said, she was trying to get into leadership. Early by blocking out competition, that's when it all clicked. This wasn't about one job. It wasn't about the consulting role, I thought. She accidentally took from me. She had been aiming at me for years. From the moment I started rising, she'd been planning how to knock me down. And the scariest part, she had almost succeeded 2 days after I heard about Jenna trying to blacklist me before. The merger, I got a calendar invite from HR. It was set for Monday morning, $9 a.m. The invite list was short. Just me. Jenna, the HR lead, the legal advisor, and RVP showed up 5 minutes early. Suit pressed, calm on the outside, fire inside. Jenna joined, right at 9. She looked bad, pale, nervous, shaky, but still tried to act smug like she had nothing to worry about. Her kicked it off. Today is a formal discussion based on internal findings. Please be respectful. The legal advisor went first, laid out the timeline. Note, motional just facts. They mentioned their org, proposal, then the false data. Then the chat logs and screenshots. Jenna tried to interrupt twice, but HR told her to stop. Then the VP leaned forward and spoke in a low voice. You lied. You undermined your own team. You spread personal attacks. You made this toxic silence. Then he looked at me. And you, he said, pausing. You should have reported this sooner. You let it fester. You let your personal history cloud your judgment. I swallowed hard. He was right. I should have spoken up the minute I learned she'd lied to get that first job. I waited. I wanted revenge. I wanted to reach above and watch her fall, and I did. But I also let others get hurt in the crossfire. Jenna finally spoke. She hated me. She wanted this to happen. She made everyone turn against me. I looked her straight in the eye. No, I said you did. That all on your own. HR cut in. This behavior violates multiple policies. We're proceeding with termination. Effective. Immediately. She froze. No severance. No. The legal advisor said, your exit package was tied to conduct. You voided it. Her face dropped. Her lip trembled. I'll sue. The VP stood up. You're welcome to try, but I suggest you read your contract first. She left the room, shaking, muttering under her breath. She didn't say goodbye, didn't look back. The office was quiet after that. People moved on fast. New hires came in. Projects ramped up, but her shadow stuck around a little longer. Every now and then, someone would whisper, remember Jenna, and shake their head. I got promoted again, 3 months later, this time to division head, not just over her old department, but over multiple regions. It felt good. But I wasn't celebrating. I thought I'd feel powerful, like I'd won. But really, I just felt tired. I lost a friend. Or maybe I lost her years ago and didn't see it. Let my pride make me quiet. Let revenge drive me more than integrity. I didn't lie, but I let her hang herself with her own rope while I watched from a distance. Some people called that patience, but sometimes patience is just fear in a better outfit. In the end, we both lost. She lost her job, her reputation, and probably any chance of staying in the industry. I lost my peace, my trust, and the feeling that I was ever truly safe around people I care about. But here's what I did win clarity next time. I won't be quiet. I won't play the long game for pride. I'll speak up when it matters, not when it's too late. Because sometimes revenge feels good, but respect feels better, and the truth always wins. Truth.